All right, I'd like to call the board meeting to order. We start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Marevka? Here. Jones?
Here.
March?
Here.
Parker?
Here.
Ham?
Here.
Bowden?
Here. In your packets, there were minutes of the May 14th regular board meetings. Is there any approval or corrections? If no corrections, I entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Jones, second by trustee Parker.
Jones?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Marevka? Yes.
And also in your packets is a list of the accounts payable and payroll. The payroll for the pay period ending 5/19/18 was $50,480.44. Accounts payable general fund of $47,478.22, and the water and sewer fund of $2,805.88 for a total in the for the accounts payable of $50,284.10. Any questions? Not a motion to pay the bills?
Motion, we pay the bills?
Second?
I'll second it.
Been moved by trustee Ham, seconded by trustee Marevka.
Ham?
Yes.
Marevka? Yes. Jones?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
March?
Yes. And there's being no public present, we will move on to the reports of committees. There's no police chief report. Anybody have an engineering report, or is the sidewalk and streets, have they been put out to bid? Okay. No one there?
That's due this week.
This week sometime. Okay.
Any update on the Prop 50 stoplight?
Nothing yet.
So the dumpsters got taken
Yes,
away.
they got
That's good.
removed, yes. That was where Nycor, and the company that's working with Nycor.
All right. No old business, new business. Ordinance, a motion to approve the appropriations ordinance for the Village of Peatone, Will County, Illinois, April 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2019. So this is what we just had our public hearing on, correct?
Yep. It's our annual appropriation ordinance, sets the limits on what we can tax for and spend.
And the total appropriation is $6,008,482.
Right. Any other questions or discussion on that? If not, motion to approve.
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Been moved by trustee Bowden, seconded by trustee Jones.
Mr. Bowden?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Marevka? Yes. Mr. Parker?
Yes.
And Mr. Ham?
Yes.
And Mr. March?
Yes. Next item of business, the payout request is a motion to approve the J&J Newell Concrete Contractors request for payment in the amount of $2,858.82, the final payment of retention for the 2017 sidewalk replacement program.
We didn't have no issues with that like we did the year before, did we?
No, that's why we're giving
Cracking or
them,
anything
right,
like that?
that's why we're giving them money.
Okay. Motion
Questions?
then.
Okay. Moved by trustee Bowden, is there a second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Bowden, second by trustee Ham.
Mr. Bowden?
Yes.
Mr. Ham?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Marevka?
Yes.
And Mr. March?
Yes. Next item is approval of payment the amount of $5,500 to Robinson Engineering for work in preparing legal descriptions and plats of annexation exhibits for 8 properties around I-57.
We're beginning to, we're actually in the talks with one developer right now for the east side of 57, and we have an inquiry on the west side of 57 that we are also talking about. So the time is now to start looking at annexing those properties, getting them into the fold, getting the zoning done, so that when we do have a sale, which is pending on the one property, when we do have a sale, we can bring that person into the fold and start their project right away. Also, it'll help us, this will be the beginning phases of getting a new TIF done out there as well, and trying to help out with some of the expenses that will be incurred out there. So the $5,500 is to get those zoning maps and plat maps done for us. And then your attachment is the properties that we will be adding, the circle properties. As you can see there, the two on the east side of 57, and then on the west side of 57, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 right now.
So 2 through 9?
2 through 9.
2 through 9. But not 10 and 11?
At this point, no. But we have to establish continuity once we do this, contiguous property. So that's just a matter of getting them to agree at that time.
Yeah, essentially, we have to make sure we get 3 first.
Right.
Once we get 3, we're pretty,
And we have agreement in principle with the owner right now for 3,
Okay.
so. Because that property has got a contract on it, so.
Got it.
So things are starting to move.
Any other questions?
So what are the next steps after this? We do this, and then what do...
Yeah, we got the legal to do there. We got to get the annexations done. There's some discussion at the board level how we handle that as far as properties that have not been sold yet. We'll have to give them an inducement to come in and annex. The inducement will be, we won't collect any village tax on that property until the property is sold or changes hands or is developed. So that's their inducement. They're the only reason they're not annexed now is because they don't want to pay village taxes. So. At that point, we get all those properties in, we can do the TIF, get that map done, and then with the advent of the first project getting ready to go, hopefully that begats the next project, so. And there's no sense in chasing property by property, we'll do one mass one, make a PUD out of it, plan for development, plan unit development. And that'll take care of a lot of the zoning issues that may come up down the road as to what goes where, what can go where, you know, so on and so forth, so.
The southeast corner is already annexed, is that correct? Of
Yes.
I-57?
That's the potential senior housing there. And again, if 10 or 11 calls and wants to go in, we'll certainly add them in. I don't think that's a problem.
Why would they not want to go in?
There's always that fear of government. There's always that fear that we're going to tell them what they can do with their property, how they can behave. They have to conform to all the village rules, you know, which in reality they'd have to do anyway, because if they're ever going to want to develop it and want sewer and water, they're going to have to go by our rules. So, and they'll have to come in town.
It's a big advantage to them because it makes their property much more marketable. It's not just a cornfield, it's...
I don't disagree. But right now, there's not any interest. There may be, that could change. Like I said, once they see things start to roll and develop, then there could be some change.
Does their real estate tax structure change at all if they annex and they just continue to grow corn?
It changes because it gets the village portion. So whatever we have passed on appropriations tonight, whatever our percentage winds up being for everybody in town, they pay that percentage too, regardless if it's ag or not. So whatever the value of the property is, that establishes that.
yeah, it will not change the classification, though. I
Right.
think that's what I was asking. In other words, it'll still be assessed as ag land as long as it's ag land until there's some change. Now, you know, I can't, the taxes are not that high from the village side. You know, the major tax, of course, is the school districts. We can't affect that one way or the other.
Right.
I mean, and that's going to be the same, whether they're in.
It's already there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Already in the school
Yeah.
So they really don't incur any more expense until the property's developed?
Well, it's other than our tax rate.
Our tax rate, and then their fear of our ability to tell them what to do with their property. Because once they're in town, they have code enforcement, and I mean, they're just a litany of, believe me, I've heard a lot of landowners say a lot of things that they don't want the town to be able to do, so. And then once they sell it or develop it, then that's a whole different story. Then they understand that. Then there's a benefit to being in town. So,
All right, any other discussion? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll motion it.
And a second?
Second.
Been seconded by trustee Marevka, seconded by trustee Ham for approval.
Marevka?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
March?
Yes. And there's no press here. Any other comments from trustees?
I know it's missing shingles on the front of the building here. I don't know if that's been noticed before.
Yeah. We're trying to manage.
Okay.
So last meeting, we talked about the long grass over at Verizon.
Yes.
Really?
Sorry, I didn't realize you guys were...
I'm sorry.
It's been a couple of years for the shingles?
No. They were just blown off in that storm earlier this spring. Because one of them was laying on top of the hood of my car.
Okay.
There may have been others in the past
Yeah.
that I don't know about, but those I know were in that storm.
Okay.
So last meeting, we talked a little bit about the long grass at Verizon, the old Verizon store, which has now been cut. So
Yes.
what's the backstory on that whole thing?
Brought to our attention by trustee March, well, we had seen it. We'd been in contact with the property manager of the bank that owns the property, their property division, and asked them to make sure that they get that cut. Got a call from them saying that they would have it cut by Thursday last, that they had some issues with their mowing company, and I told them that if they did not cut it Thursday, they would be issued a fine, a ticket of $750, and that the village would cut it on Friday, and they would pay whatever the village's rate is for mowing, which will be another $750. And we're sending that to them, and if they don't pay that, we're leaning the property. And that they can't forget that they own this property and that grass still grows, no matter if it's cool and rainy out. So Thursday came, they did not cut it, ticket was issued, and Friday came, Bob cut it, Public Works, and the bill's on its way. So, and we'll continue to do it until, it won't be golf course ready, but it'll be, as soon as it starts getting to the limit of what we can do, then we're gonna get it cut, or they're gonna cut it, one or the other. So they'll keep getting tickets until they do.
Okay.
So, and we'll keep leaning the property.
And it's not, that's standard for all properties that,
Any
Yeah.
property in the village that does not, even residential, that refuses to cut their grass, they'll get issued a ticket. They'll have a certain couple of days, and this was a little quicker because we had already talked to them, but they'll have a certain couple of days to get it mowed. If they don't mow it, and we have to go in and mow it, they're getting a bill. And we don't want to go in the lawn mowing business. We do not want to be in the lawn mowing business. But in order to keep the neighborhoods looking right, sometimes we just have to do that.
yeah, that's a bummer because it's right at the south entrance of the
Right.
town and
Yes.
it's a busy intersection and,
And, there's no immediate gratification as far as funds because they're not going to pay it until they sell the building, especially a lien. We hope they pay it, but the reality is typically they won't pay it, so, until they sell the building. So, but we had some closings on some properties that we had to maintain a few years ago that had liens on them, and they've finally paid them, so, and sold the property. So it happens, but it just takes a while.
Can they close on a property if there's a lien on it?
No, we will not release.
Do you charge interest on the funds?
We're not allowed,
You're not allowed?
unless we go to court, and then the attorney gets it for us.
Yeah.
Legal fees and filing fees.
No.
Legal filing
We collect the filing fees back.
Yeah.
On the
Yes.
lien. That
It's
becomes
all-
part of the lien, and
But
then
we
when
can't do
they
it
sell
for
it,
the
we
interest.
take it out of the purchase price. And the check's cut over.
Geez, I wish.
18%?
18% in Illinois, sure. So, but yeah, no, we can't.
The incentive is for property owners to take care of their properties.
You know, the one thing we want is compliance. We really don't want to do tickets and we really don't want to do liens. That's not what we do. The village does not make a living on that, okay? But unfortunately, if we're driven to that, we will do that. It's up to them. And then we have a lot of good citizens that notify us of things that we may not see. You know, code enforcement is pure part-time and he tries to get around, but sometimes you miss things, so.
Thanks.
Yep.
On a hamper, I don't know if we've met since the cleanup, but it was, nice to see. I think we had a group of about 20 people clean up. What do we do? Ratchie Road, Route 50, and get to Wilmington Road. So that was nice to see. And it's nice to see the trees. How many trees do we plant, Mike?
31.
31 trees. So that program keeps going, so we're good.
I think Bob said he was gonna get out and start stumping pretty quickly. Julie came out and marked recently, so they were gonna go out and get those stumps out of there.
Okay.
I just have one thing from Aqua. They asked me to let you know that they're moving forward, that it should come out on time from the ICC, and hopefully we're still on track to close early to mid-July.
Any updates on the municipal building?
We turned in our zoning request. Well, I have to go through 3 meetings with Will County to get our variance, and then they'll look at our permit. We did have the architect out. We talked to him. We're basically in compliance in there. So he's gonna do some drawings, and we're gonna probably remove that stairway that's in there, because it's a residential stairway, not a commercial stairway anyway. And we're not gonna use that upper space because we would have to put support beams and footings and all kinds of things in there. So we've decided to just take the stairs out and not use that. We can use the area that the stairs is vacated for storage. So, but he's drawing all that up. Jeff Jarvis is the architect. We'll take that with the application, with the building permit, and hopefully we get that quickly done.
Can we
after
use
that.
the outside for storage in between now and then, or
Yeah, I mean, once we can,
like the snow plows?
we don't, and we'll never make it junky.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Just wonder if like the snow plows here would make sense sitting out there rather than in town here.
I think so. We have enough room. But again, we have to get through the first part of this, which is the variance on the zoning, so.
Oh, it can't be used until the zoning's approved.
Nope, can't even
Used
have
or
a truck in it.
occupied? Used or occupied with employees?
Can't be used,
Oh, okay, all right.
so we're staying out of there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Hand, seconded by trustee Jones.
Ham?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Maravka?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
March?
Yes.